Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast, episode 126, being recorded live on July 25th, 2020. I'm your host, Taylor, and this week I'm, of course, joined by...
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good. All right.
Mike, how's it going?
Awesome.
And I am Anthony. Glad to be here again for like 125 weeks in a row.
Right. We, of course, have a wonderful show lined up for you guys today. I'm going to try kind of outlining the topics that we have lined up just part of the intro sequence. See how that goes. Maybe we like it. Maybe we won't. We'll see. We'll see if we keep it or not. So, G4 and Let's Play possibly returning. You know, that cable TV channel that did like tech and gaming and whatnot is basically a big competitor to Spike in the early to mid 2000s. Sony wants to transition to the PS5 sooner rather than later. Ghost of Tsushima is the fastest-selling original IP on PS4, and if we really are feeling it at the end of the news segment, we'll talk about the Nintendo Direct Mini, and then our water cooler conversation will be purely dedicated to Xbox and Microsoft, so Xbox fanboys need not fret. You will get your time in the sun very, very soon. Anyway, as we usually do, we like to start the show with what we've been playing this past week. So, Mike, what have you been up to?
Okay, so quite a bit of games that I've been enjoying right now. I admit that I'm one of many who are currently enjoying Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
Been having lots of fun with that, and
I'm
yeah,
jealous.
definitely
Okay.
like once you get going, you basically can't stop until like 4 or 6 hours later. So definitely enjoying that right now. And then I also did check out Kyrian on Xbox One, and that one has also been rather fun and unique as well.
Okay.
Oh, Carry On. Which
The
that's
monster one,
Kyrian.
right?
Yeah, the one where you go ahead and play the monster that's basically eating everyone.
Okay.
It's weird, but in some strange way, it's like that one's also pretty unique and special in its own right as well. And you know, if you have the Game Pass, I would definitely recommend that one for sure.
I
Okay.
got your PC Game Pass.
Well, that one, or was it on PC Game Pass?
I don't know.
it's
I
on
guess I gotta
PC Game
check.
Pass.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Oh.
It is.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, no, Carrion though, it seems like it's splitting a lot of people, but I'm in that camp that says that Carrion's definitely at least worth playing at the very least. To go ahead and check it out, enjoy it, and just terrorize random people before eating them.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else? Or...
I guess the only other question would be that I just noticed something just now. Tyler, why do you not have facial hair?
I've shaved a while ago.
I know that, you know, with the current pandemic and everything, that we might have been growing out our facial hair a bit. I tried to grow out a beard a bit just to see if it looks good on me. Or, you know, goatee or whatever. But I just noticed that everyone else has mustaches, and then you're just clean-shaven right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not growing mine because I'm lazy. I'm growing it because some people like it, apparently.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm just trying this out to see if it works, or if not, I'm just going to rip it off.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Too much time growing this. I can't go back now.
Yeah.
You committed.
All
I
right.
like it. Good job.
I have not done any sort of like quarantine beard, so yeah. All right. Anyway, Andrew, what have you been up to this past week?
Yeah, it's been a lot of Ghost of Tsushima for me. I can hold off if you guys want to talk about it a little bit more later, but otherwise I'll just. Want to talk about it? Should we talk about it?
I'm not sure. I would
We
really
can
want
talk
to
about it in a
I would
moment.
really want to participate in this discussion, and it's like I picked it up earlier today, but I haven't been able to play it yet, and I'm like I kind of want to go play it right now, but because I'm excited, but
Yeah, we can probably just go back to it after Anthony and you.
okay. All right, Anthony.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima as well.
All right. Do you want...
I mean, I'm reviewing it.
Yeah, okay,
So-
that's fair. All right, do you want here? So I'll make it simple. I really haven't been playing anything this past week because I've been out of town. So yeah,
Okay.
been out of town. Really, I haven't been playing much of anything this week. I got back yesterday. Kind of why the room is messed a little bit, and I also have like a bunch of PC parts to do a little project on my PC also. So this weekend. So anyway. That's pretty much been it for me. All right, Ghost of Tsushima, Joe, as said, is to let it held off until I got back from my trip to pick it up and play it. So yeah, went out earlier today, and you know, I scoured the Best Buys because I got a gift card for Best Buy. I'll just use it for that. Scoured the Best Buys for it. They were all sold out at like the 3 places I went, so I just said screw it and bought like a PlayStation Store card with the gift card, and yeah, it's like did I get it digitally?
There you go.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well done.
Because it is 2020, and you can do that now.
How much time have you put into it?
Me?
Taylor, sorry.
Oh no, I haven't been able to play it yet.
Oh, you haven't played it at all? Oh,
no,
okay.
I haven't been able to play it yet because it's like got home, had to like immediately come here.
Got it.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
since y'all have been playing it, what do y'all think?
It's fine.
It is glorious.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Andrew,
yes.
detail your thoughts.
Okay, so it is the most video game I have played in a while.
Is that a good thing though?
It's not. I don't know if it is. Like,
okay.
you know, like I go to here, I kill these people, and then I go here and I chop some bamboo and I get a point on my thing, and then I go here and I rescue these people, and it's like, I don't know, the combat is pretty whatever. I'm not sure if it opens. I'm still in Act 1.
Okay.
But I've like put a significant amount of time just like doing stuff.
So Act 1 goes for a good, probably solid 8 hours.
Oh, I'm probably way more into it than that. Like I just haven't been doing the like.
Yeah, sure. You've been doing side stuff and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just I don't know because the combat is pretty like one note for the most part. It's like parry, kill, or just kind of mash. Make sure you have the right the right stance for like the whoever you're fighting, like the archetype. Oh, it's a sword guy, so you want to use the stone stance. Whereas the spear guys,
stance, blah,
yeah.
Blah.
So and it looks cool. The animation's great on the stuff, but it just I don't know. It just kind of gets like a little mashy.
Okay.
Doesn't feel. Yeah, and then I don't know. And I just feel like the world is beautiful. Obviously, the world it's great. It's a fantastic looking game. I love all the colors and stuff. But then like, I go to a city or a town or whatever, and there's just nothing in the town. There's like a person that tells me like where to write a haiku or whatever, and then there's like and that's it. And I'm like, I don't know what was the point of this town.
Well, I mean, the town was kind of torn apart by Mongols, so.
Yeah, but I don't get it. Like it's really big, but like it's somewhat still empty.
Space.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of a commonish criticism of Breath of the Wild when that came out too. It was just like it's like, you know, it's like yes, the towns are there and there is a population of the towns, but like the towns themselves are fairly tiny, not very populous in general, right? Which does kind of make sense given the contents of the game. But then the rest of it is just like this really open, empty space, you know? I remember that being a criticism of Breath of the Wild. But anyway, sorry.
No, I like the emptiness of like because it's just beautiful, like the grass and all that stuff and the flowers. It looks great. Yeah. I wish I had like a 4K HDR TV, then I would probably be losing my mind.
Okay.
But I don't. I just have a 1080p TV.
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, like Tsushima Island wasn't that populated at this time anyway.
No, I mean I get it. There's obviously, you know, like I get it.
Okay.
But it's a video game, right? So like,
I got you.
Just at times I'm like, oh, there's a town, cool. Wait, why did they bother writing over this town? Like, you know.
And like off Andrew's point as well, like you'll have a town with like all these different buildings and like all these different houses, and there's 3 people in the town. It's like, why are there only 3 people if there's like 50 houses?
Because the Mongolians killed the rest of them.
Apparently.
Yeah.
We're all buddies. Like, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And I do understand that. Like, there's no real side quests associated with these towns either. Like, there's 1 or 2, but not a whole heap. And yes, I definitely understand the whole mashiness kind of thing. Like, it's very, very, very samey. Like, go here, kill these people. Go here, kill these people. Go here, kill these people. That's what the whole story is about, basically.
My big golden standard is that I'm going to hold this game to as I'm playing it is going to be like the combat will be Sekiro, 100%. Like you can't not make that comparison.
I would say it's a mix of like Batman and a little bit of like Sekiro, just the teensiest bit.
It's like Batman with a sprinkle of Sekiro on top.
Yeah, because you can parry and get like insta kills off parries.
Ooh, okay.
But like
a perfect parry leads to an insta kill, So
yeah.
Okay.
That's other than that.
And you can change stances mid-fight. Like, you might be swinging your sword, you'll hold down R2, change the stance, and then you'll change around, and then you go into a different thing. It's very, like fluidity of motion, if that makes sense. So you got to, like, hit a lot of buttons to kind of, like...
It can get a little cumbersome, I think. Like, holding R2 and, like, doing that stuff is a little weird. The camera on the combat, for me, is not Great.
Legit. Oh yeah, the camera's really bad. Legit. I literally just found myself shooting people point blank with a bow.
Because you misinputted, or just because that was just the way to do it?
It's easier.
Oh, okay.
I just legit started doing that, and I'm like, okay, this is easier. This is better. I can't be bothered mashing triangle, 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 square, blah blah blah.
Sure. Okay.
It's like pull out the bow, bang, straight in the head. Okay, he's dead. Next person.
Okay. All right, Mike. What are some of your general thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been enjoying it myself. I've just barely got through the first act, and I'm working on the second. Although, to go ahead and fall back to an earlier point mentioned, that, yeah, no, quests are definitely not region-based. That I went ahead and go back to, like, the first area again to go ahead to, do some cleanup, check on a few things. And then, suddenly I get told, like, oh, hey, by the way, there's this person clear on the other side of the island that you need to go rescue. And then it's like, like 5-10 kilometers away, and it's like, well, okay, I guess I could start riding my horse over there if you want me to, but...
Yeah.
You can fast travel. Fast travel is an option.
Yeah, no, it's good for there to be fast travel. I do love the idea of how it's like there's no way that you guide yourself to a place. You just follow the wind, and the wind just blows in the way that you want to go.
Yeah.
And then...
I do like that.
Well, I mean, it's exploration.
Sort of like Wind Waker kind of reminds me of, right? You kind of direct the wind what direction you want to go. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
you like swipe up on the
to find to find the objectives essentially.
Oh, really? Wait, you swipe up and
swipe up on the touchpad, and the wind will like blow that direction, and then you.
Yeah, so if it's blowing against you, you're going the wrong way.
These are all great tips to know before I start playing. Thank you.
The game holds your hand a bit.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was pressing options and then like getting back out for the wind to start blowing again, which was really like annoying, and that was the issue that I had. But if you just got to swipe up, then that's fine.
Yeah, you just swipe up.
That's good.
But yeah, no. I admit, I will admit right now, I'm a big longtime fan of Assassin's Creed, and well, I'm sure you guys have heard me mention that one time. Why is Assassin's Creed not been set in Japan? And now I have my answer. There's no longer a need to do so.
We've had a very extensive conversation within the past couple of weeks about Assassin's Creed being in Japan. Yeah, on the podcast.
But there's no need to anymore.
Okay.
Your Assassin's Creed Japan is now called Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
And honestly, the other thing that I've also been enjoying as well is that it's the fact that it's not that I'm failing at stealth mode. I'm actually just following the code of the samurai and just charging in straight out, just attacking people straight out.
Okay.
And, that's something that some people might take some issue with, the idea of who cares about honor if people are getting slaughtered outright? But it's
I'm sorry, I'm like a total Asian history nerd because it's my minor in college. There was no real code of honor for the samurai ever historically. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole idea of Bushido and everything, the whole strict code of honor thing comes from a book called The Tale of the Heike. And I'm pretty sure it's The Tale of the Heike. Let me double check this. Hold on.
Yeah. But essentially, though, it's I was a touch worried because they, so many people made a big deal of the, you should not be doing stealth kills or you should not be doing sneaky things because that's, the bad thing to do. But, thankfully the game hasn't really punished you in regards to that. So, that's at least a plus right there for me.
I think the stealth is worse than the combat. So, it's more fun to go in there and do the standoffs than it is to sneak around, I think. Because
if I see 5 guys in front of me, and if I have the option of standoff, and it's there's no way I'm going to be able to stealth these guys, then it's all right, guys, come forward. I'm going to kill each and every one of you in one hit, so let's have fun.
And the standoff is cool. It just happens a lot, I think. Yeah.
No, it does happen quite a bit. But I like the standoffs. There have been a few times where I've accidentally let go of the button a bit too quickly. Sure. And, especially the duels too. The duels I've also come to enjoy. Cool. The first one I did, I got killed 3-5 times. But then as soon as I started to catch on to how duels are supposed to work, then it's definitely a top and high moment for me. But definitely overall, the Ghost of Tsushima, it's definitely been the main reason why I've been playing on the PlayStation 4 once again.
Okay.
For a long time.
So, correction about my thing here. It wasn't The Tale of the Heike, I was mistaken. There's this... I remember. It's the Hategure now, okay? Where it's the whole idea of samurai Bushido and everything was originally written by this and by this author who wrote the Hatakiri, who was giving like a historical recount of the samurai. But the problem is like the guy who wrote it was a samurai, but this was the period that this was in the Tokugawa era of Japan, which lasted from like 1600 to 1867 or so, when the samurai were still a distinct legal class, but they didn't fight any wars. They weren't really like a warrior class or anything during this time period. So it's basically this guy like remembering how the samurai were like 300 years earlier without him actually like living through it and everything like that. So that's where the whole idea of Bushido comes from. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said before, though, with everything that's been going on with Ghost of Tsushima as of late, and also being the fastest-selling original IP, that just brings a big smile to my face, honestly, because it's like, you know, Sucker Punch, they definitely are kind of like, well, I mean, I don't know if I would say Sucker Punch are the underdogs of the PlayStation developers, but I kind of feel like that they really do deserve as much credit as possible for the games that they put out, honestly.
Okay.
They haven't really done a whole heap in like this gen, and like
I mean,
the only real games that they've done is what are they called? Infamous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Infamous Second Son. That was the only game I can recall that they did recently, unless if there was another one that I completely
Did they? No, that's Insomniac that did Sunset Overdrive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The last thing that Sucker Punch did was Infamous Second Son and
Yeah.
First Light.
Okay, so
back
yeah,
at the very beginning of the
Yeah.
PS4.
Yeah, so they literally spent this whole time working on Ghost of Tsushima.
Theoretically.
You know, I guess that's one part that, you know, good on them.
Yeah.
They invested their time very wisely.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, well, I mean, I guess we can't really give them too much nonsense about, you know, this being the only game that they, well, second game that they did for the generation.
Mhm.
But then, you know, that'd be like saying that God of War was the only one that Santa Monica did.
Okay.
I do
But
want
yeah,
to
no.
point out the load times and just how incredibly fast the load times are.
Are they pretty good?
Yeah,
Okay.
They
Oh, no,
are
yeah, they are really good.
nuts.
But almost instant, some of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
you die and you can't even like
Yeah.
pick up your phone. You can't go get a snack because you're gonna get reloaded back in that quick. It's
Oh, wow.
incredible. Like they talk about, you know, PS5 having insta loading. Like this is like, yeah, if everyone can work with the tech, as long as these guys have worked with it, maybe they can actually do it because pretty much nailed it already.
Yeah, that was actually
Right.
another story that I read, that apparently that the load times were so fast they had to quote unquote add in load times because they were loading in too fast. And I was thinking to myself, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea if you're trying to, you know, promote the next system for having low to or next to nothing for load times. But then it's like, you know, for that being the case, why don't you put in press X to continue?
Yeah,
If that was really a big deal, if you want people to be reading your tips, why not just X to continue?
All right. Fair enough.
So, with regard to Sushi, don't get me wrong, it's a good game. I enjoy it a lot. This goes to Tsushima, that is. I enjoyed it a lot. It does have its flaws here and there, like small things like I mentioned last week, like some animations are very clunky. The horse looks like a dinosaur sometimes.
I
Okay.
love
you
the
notice that, Andrew?
What's that? I haven't.
Did you- Okay.
I
I
have
they're
the white.
I have the black horse.
Sure.
Yeah, I like my black horse too.
Okay.
My one looks like a dinosaur every so often.
It's a good game. I will give you a tip right off the bat. Anyone listening, invest the first point if you can. Like when you get your upgrade points, get the one that you can roll out of a landing. It's like
Okay.
super important because like
Yeah, I didn't
traversal.
get that one right away.
Yeah, the traversal is very vertical, and being able to jump off stuff and not die or get hurt,
Pretty solid. Okay.
very good to have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about it next week when I'm setting my teeth into it and everything. So, all right.
Definitely.
Doing some housekeeping stuff before we get into the news. The main site is, of course, cultureofgaming.com. There you can find the latest gaming news, reviews, opinion pieces, etc., etc. Head on over there. The occasional tech content, the occasional anime content. Some new writers, because some old writers left. So, yeah, getting them working, swing to things, stuff like that. Anyway, we have a community Discord, a link to which you can find on the right-hand side sidebar of the main site. You have to scroll down a little bit to find it. And yeah, you can chat with everyone you see on the podcast as well as the rest of the staff from COG. So if you want to talk to them about article they wrote or about gaming in general, we're always down to have a conversation. We're usually talking amongst ourselves in that general chat too. And then we have two Facebook pages, one for the main site, one for the podcast. They are at facebook.com/the Network and facebook.com/PowerUpPodcast, respectively. Instagram at Culture of Gaming, Twitter at the COD Network, and twitch.tv/Culture of Gaming, and youtube.com/Culture of Gaming. Furthermore, if you'd like to listen to an audio repository of all the previous podcasts we've recorded, all previous 125 episodes, anywhere you find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podcast Addicts, Google Podcasts, etc., it's all there. Have fun. All right. And then if you'd really want to view the video recording, they eventually get uploaded to the YouTube channel, which is once again youtube.com/Culture of Gaming. So
my growth of my mustache, if you go that
you can
route.
track it. Yes.
Yeah.
Track it from week to week. It's pretty
mustache
good.
Mustache tracker.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right. So our first news story is honestly one I'm really happy about. Y'all remember early to mid 2000s? You know, huh?
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
Not like 2020.
No, definitely different. You could go outside whenever you wanted during the mid 2000s. It's pretty great. But like also, you know, gaming was not quite as mainstream of a thing as it really was and everything. It was somewhat niche and everything. It was still very like, if you were to break it down demographically and look at like the data and everything, it was still very like a male thing to do and everything.
Nerds play video games.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Kind of like a younger, like, 18 to 34-year-old male thing to do and everything.
Before the kids came in with their flossing and their fork knives. And
exactly. Right. Well, there was a channel dedicated to this audience. Okay. This demographic. It was a primary competitor to Spike TV and everything. And it was originally called Tech TV, and then it got rebranded to G4. And G4 had some pretty good stuff that I used to watch a lot as a kid. I actually attribute a lot of like my interest in like tech and tech, the internet in general, video games and everything, to watching shows like Let's Play, Attack of the Show, and everything on G4. Anyway, so G4 had the plug pulled on it quite a few years back, I think like 2008, 2009 or so, and it was all very, very, very sad, at least for me. But we have this article here where it might return. This is coming from GameSpot, and it's being written by Jeremy Winslow from GameSpot. He says, and this is quoting a Rod Breslau tweet, who's that apparently like esports leaker or journalist or whatever, right? Whatever he calls himself nowadays, who still apparently knows why Dr. Disrespect was banned, but refuses to tell anyone. So, anyway. He's did a tweet July 24th, 2020. Sources, G4 TV is making a comeback from Comcast, who still owns the property, led by Spectacor Gaming president Tucker Roberts, who oversees Comcast's esports organization, T1 League of Legends, and the Philadelphia Fusion Overwatch League team. Tucker is also the son of Comcast CEO Brian Roberts. So, yeah. And so, after shuttering the network nearly 5 years ago, it seems G4 made some kind of return soon. A teaser made its debut during IGN's Comic-Con at Home event, followed by the official Twitter accounts for both G4 TV and Let's Play, a channel associated with G4 Media, have hinted that the network is slated to come back in 2021. How, where, and what format G4 TV will come in remains to be seen. If they can rerun the original Ninja Warrior on there, please.
I did like
that was fun.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
And then, if you used to watch Attack of the Show, then Kevin Pereira, who was like the star co-host, tweeted that he was very interested in whatever this G4 TV teaser is supposed to be. In a follow-up tweet, Pereira mentioned Olivia Munn, a former Attack of the Show co-host, also now works as an actress seen in films like Iron Man 2, the Lego Ninjago movie, and X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah.
The top films.
Yeah.
And 2 is decent.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe this thing will return and bring normalcy back to the world.
G4 comes back.
Yeah, everything will be
is
normal
right
again. Yeah.
This is super weird.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like Twitch and any of like what we're doing and IGN, all these people, not to compare us to them, but like that's the shows that people, if they want to watch, that's where they go, right?
Yeah, no, I kind of like 100% agree, because like these shows like Let's Play, Attack of the Show, and stuff like that, right, was like when YouTube really wasn't that big of a thing, or still just kind of taking off and everything, right? It was just like the most mainstream you got for like gaming or tech news was this still somewhat niche, you know, channel on TV, that when it wasn't doing like the hour and a half a day dedicated to Attack of the Show and Let's Play, it was rerunning old Japanese Ninja Warrior, you know, that TV game show, climbing Mount Midoriyama and everything, you know, Cheaters, College PD, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Cheaters.
Yeah, I remember Cheaters. Anyway.
It's just bad reality TV show, right?
Yeah, so outside of like that hour and a half a day. Yeah, anyway. So, but yeah, you know, Andrew, I kind of agree, you know, all of that sort of thing is just like shifted online, you know.
Kind of evolved, right? You know?
Yeah.
It's not on cable TV for a reason.
Right, exactly.
The people who want that stuff, they will go seek it out via the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of comes down to like time as well. Like, I mean, not many people watch cable TV anymore.
Right.
I feel like.
Agreed.
Like, it's kind of
we don't
way
have,
out.
It's like my roommates and I, we don't even have cable TV.
Same.
I don't have cable TV.
Yeah. Mike, do you have cable TV?
Well, I mean, I have cable TV where I'm at. My folks watch it. My family watches it.
Okay,
I've stepped away
yeah.
from cable TV though myself, so I don't watch it that much nowadays.
Gotcha.
So, if they were doing like an online kind of platform, that'd be slightly better, I reckon. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I can't speak personally for this. G4 TV didn't exist over here.
Damn.
Never has. It may exist over here, perhaps, like when they bring it back, but I doubt it. So I don't know any of this stuff at all.
Yeah. And we don't know if it's going to be on TV, do we? Like, actually.
No, we don't know.
It could just be like a
it's like it's
channel,
relaunching
right?
in some form in 2021.
Yeah.
It looks like. So what that form will be, we don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out what form it would come back in, because I know we'd mentioned in here we'll partner with streaming, or if it may partner up with a streaming service like Hulu or Netflix. And I'm thinking to myself, would people really go to one of these streaming services just for G4? Because I kind of feel like that, if anything else, that if it was rebranded as a YouTube channel or, you know, a website or something, then, you know, that would probably be more than enough to go ahead and regenerate or not regenerate, but to go ahead and divert traffic towards wherever they may want to go. Because if it's a TV channel again, I kind of feel like that in this day and age, it may, you know, go accidentally forgotten by mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. My assumption is it's going to be a kind of like a Twitch channel, you know, like maybe like always kind of streaming Twitch channel where they have like a play, you know, every morning or whatever, you know, kind of similar to like a Kind of Funny, how they kind of have their shows.
Do you know what I remember? So it's like if you were to tap into my Xbox Live account, I think I own some episodes of Let's Play or whatever. Nice. Anyway. I'm looking for it now, and it's just like Comcast, who is the parent company of G4 and everything. They own the property. They don't have their own like streaming service and everything, but they do have like NBC, Telemundo, MSNBC, CNBC, USA, Sci-Fi, which I'm pretty sure is on like Hulu right now. Some of the stuff you can get on Hulu. So.
I think the USA is Hulu. I think you're correct.
Yeah. So maybe we could see like. So maybe like Hulu could be like ABC. Exclusive. Let's Play could be like an exclusive show for Hulu or something, like a Hulu original or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts for it.
And the people who were involved, to seem to not be involved with this, you know, so.
Right.
I mean, from the reactions that we just read just now, you know, like people who were with Attack of the Show or X-Play, you know, their responses were like, oh, wow, this is coming back, apparently. It would have been nice to know if we were told about it.
They probably started talking to their agents. It's like, yo, get me in on this. I don't know if they want to return or not. They've all. I
mean, who knows if they do want to return or not? But
they've all gone on to do like other things with their lives, trying to remove from it. Like Olivia Munn is like somewhat of a mainstream actress now. She gets somewhat smaller roles.
I don't know if she would want to go back to talking about these smaller things if she's technically in the bigger things that they would usually talk about anyway.
Yeah. Adam Sessler is still somewhat involved in the gaming industry, but not a whole lot anymore. Morgan Webb, I think, has like a family now, and I think she's like out of it.
Sure.
I know some of the other like smaller hosts have either gone on to do like modeling or like other like minor shows or whatever. So
was Keeley involved in G4 at all?
No, he ran a competitor. Jeff Keighley ran what would have been a competitor at the time because he ran game trailers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I kind of mixed those two up. I feel like they had very similar.
No, they did. They were like
Aesthetics.
direct competitors.
Well, I
to each
guess
other.
that's also another thing we should also consider too, because like what we said before, that in this current day and age of media, if we want to go ahead and call it that technically, G4 is going to be stepping into a whole new world if this is going to be trying to recapture that same feeling of what it started way back when. And technically speaking, it's like YouTube is obviously a much bigger platform to go ahead and get your news for whatever. Jeff Keighley has now become the face of the video game media of sorts.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Who knows how this is going to play out, or how. Yeah, I guess I should leave it at that. How well this is going to play out for G4 in the long run, because unless they hit the ground running, that may be something that could be very short lived for all we know.
Yeah. All right.
I don't feel like there's like a market for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a market.
Yeah.
But that market is currently being met by a lot of people right now.
I mean,
not just it's oversaturated, but
saturated.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty damn saturated, and that's the thing. Like when they launched G4, that was like the first of its kind.
Right, that was the most mainstream gaming had been.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
Whereas now, what you got to do is go anywhere, and you can see anything really.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, left other people filled in the niche, and then now this is coming back in. We'll see how well it works out, but hopefully they're going to have a lot more than just trying to bring back Tech Show and X-Play. Because if it's just going to be solely just those two, and then just nitpicking like random things
all
like
comps,
haters or whatever, then that's not going to be good for the long run.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess we just have to wait until next year and see what happens with the relaunch. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe it'll be cool again. I don't know. It'll return normalcy to the world. I guarantee it, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah, right? It's like the world will be returning to normal once G4 comes back. Anyway. Yeah. Moving along, let's talk about Sony and talk about the PS5 a little bit. Sony, well, and we're going to mention this later, but, Microsoft wants to, ease the transition as much as possible, but, into, the Series X and everything, right? But it looks like Sony is wanting to drag people kicking and screaming into the next generation as fast as possible. So this is a very small article from pushswear.com, a PlayStation dedicated game news site. Sony on PS5 exclusives, we can't take everyone with us from previous generations. A big pillar of our company is innovation. And goes on to say, the debate on PS5 exclusives is ongoing as Microsoft continues to discuss its commitment to cross-gen releases. While it's traditionally been expected that new consoles bring new experiences, Sony has consistently had to defend its approach to generational transitions as the conversation gets pushed in a different direction. Asked about this by Jeff Keighley in a recent DualSense livestream, marketing bigwig Eric Lempel from Sony explained, a big pillar of our company is innovation. It's a pillar of Sony Corporation. It's also a pillar of the PlayStation Company. We are always trying to push the boundaries of play. We want to excite gamers and deliver new experiences. In many cases, we can't take everyone with us from previous consoles because you need new hardware and devices. Lempel reiterated that the PS4 won't be abandoned, but titles like Ratchet & Clank: A Rift Apart are simply impossible on the current gen console. He added that the features of the PS5 controller itself set the hardware apart and helped to create new experiences. Despite this, Phil Spencer from Xbox said that Microsoft won't force fans into next gen because this is a counter to what gaming is all about. And then to add on to that, Sony is evidently seeing a higher demand than they originally intended to with the PS5, because they're going to be boosting the production of the PS5 to 10 million units as soon as possible.
Nice. Kind of to add on to this as well, I posted this article yesterday on the community Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Microsoft is kind of going back on what they've said as well.
Yeah. Let's keep that to the water cooler convo.
Sure. Okay. I was just going to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about that. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll get to that.
We're going to dedicate 30 minutes of the show to just talking about Microsoft and all the... Shit. No, I'm serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
That's going to be lots of fun for sure, but... Yeah, no, honestly, when it comes to the PlayStation 5, it's basically... Or the next generation, I should say. That it's basically just like swimming. Either you could go ahead and teach the kids slowly but surely to learn how to swim, or you could just throw the kid into the pool and let them suffer.
I believe...
Or learning through suffering, I should say.
I fundamentally believe in the sink or swim mantra, so good on Sony.
Yeah, no, that's what Sony's doing right now, because I mean, and there's nothing wrong with Sony taking this approach, of course, because technically speaking, whenever we've gone to the next generation, that's kind of how it's always been. That the next generation is always meant to, leave the previous generation behind, and we're going to focus on the new generation.
Right.
And of course, recent generations have, of course, been slightly more easier to go from one to the next, unless if we're looking at Nintendo Switch, that's a little bit more iffy, but that's beside that point. And overall, I would say that there's nothing wrong with Sony taking the approach of we're going to focus solely on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 while still getting support that, obviously, as soon as the PlayStation 5 comes out, Sony is basically pulling the cord and, it's going to slowly start dying from its life. I mean, slowly die off over time, but, we'll see what happens with the PlayStation 4, but pretty sure that Ghost of Tsushima is basically going to be the swan song of the PlayStation 4 at this point.
Yeah, essentially. Which, hell of a way to go out, apparently, for what I understand.
Yeah, no,
been
definitely.
Great year for them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 3 of the best games so far. Actually, it's probably like 4 of the best games so far of this year have been on PS4.
Yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and that was it.
Oh, I was going to group in Last of Us 2 just to make everyone happy.
Yes, that other game that I will never acknowledge because of reasons. Mainly because I'm not playing the game, but that's basically me. But
if you never play it, you can't be that negative about it. You gotta play it first.
Oh no, trust me, I can still be negative about it because of just
you underestimate the power of Night Salt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll just say this right now. I haven't played the first Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
So because I do not care much for the post-apocalyptic type games like that. And Days Gone, I didn't play that one either. So Last of Us 2, I was not going to be playing that one anyway. But story-wise, that's something else entirely, and I'm sure that's already been discussed to hell and back already. And that's not going to be what I'm going to focus on right now, with all due respect. Well, I mean, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm not going to acknowledge it, but I will say that Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Ghost of Tsushima has definitely been that big highlights for Sony this year, and I would not be surprised if one or the other takes the Game of the Year for many people once we get to the end of this year.
Okay.
All
right, so talking
unless if we take Cyberpunk into consideration, but that's beside that.
That's gonna be like a multi-platform thing. So yeah. Talking about like the transition to the PS5. It's like Sony always does this, right? It's just like infamous Second Son wasn't on PS3. It was borderline a PS4 launch title.
The Last of Us 1 was.
That was
multi.
Well, it was brought over after a while.
First year, so I think it came over.
A couple of games were, but like Sony predominantly launches with a strong lineup. Usually, the PS4 lineup that wasn't the best. I'm not gonna lie. Like I upgraded to an Xbox One from a PS4. That was the worst decision in my life. But like, yeah, I feel like Sony's going to jump in all guns blazing this gen. They want to show Microsoft who's boss. I feel like they're going to do that. Like with the state of play that they've done. I think it was last month. They kind of like jumped in and showed a heap of stuff that looked absolutely amazing. None of it really looked like you could play it. Yeah. It was pretty damn good, yeah. I feel like Sony's going to kill it.
Yeah, I think one thing with it's like, I think it's like Sony kind of said, it's like, here's the PS5 don't hold yourself back or whatever sort of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't expect developers to do it. So, which is fine to do or whatever. And I might mention this during the Microsoft segment later. And just like, did Microsoft maybe gimp some of the stuff coming out because they had to make it run on like a regular Xbox One also?
That's kind of what everyone's maybe theorizing, right?
Well, I think the problem is they're trying to make everybody happy with Microsoft, which we'll go into this further, obviously. But like, it's got to be on everything, so nothing's going to look amazing.
Right. Yeah. For a couple of years, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm not surprised that they're just, okay, this is a new console, let's do it, right? I mean, that's the way that's the way it's been. Yeah. But also, like, I still have a launch PS4 that's running somehow and loud as all heck.
Pretty magical.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, all right, I'm kind of ready. I'm kind of ready for a new console. Like, it's been long enough. That thing sounds like it's gonna die any minute.
It's an air turbine.
It was 2013, wasn't it? That both the systems launched.
Yeah.
7 years. That's insane to consider, honestly.
Pretty long.
That's a decent long. A phone probably would
longer than it usually is. Honestly,
I feel like the Wii U came and went, and in that same time period.
It did. Yeah, the Wii U was out, and then the PS4 launched, and then the Wii U died, and then the Switch came out, all while the PS4 was still incredibly relevant.
Yeah. So it's just like weird to think about. But and I don't know, and I think it's fine. Like, we're ready. I think people are ready for new consoles. I mean, if you are a console person, if you play on consoles, that's the way to do it. Especially, I mean, if you're a PC player, obviously, you're usually upgrading however often you want.
Right.
So
because you have that bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on you to like, okay, it's time for me to get a better graphics card. Or whatever. And I don't know, like when I'm playing Call of Duty, like my whole system just runs slow. I don't know if that's just because I have a launch one, but like I'll press the middle button and it takes like a second. So I don't know. I think it's good. I think people are ready for new consoles.
Okay.
Especially ones that are just gonna show you an immediate upgrade.
Yeah. No, I think I don't really have any problems with Sony doing this. In all honesty, it's just like you'll still get your like games that release for both and everything, but it's like it's a reasonable expectation that there's going to be just only PS5 games when the PS5 comes out, right?
Right.
Like,
I think this is a good approach, to be honest. Like this is how it's always been done. This is how it should be done. Because it makes them money, for one.
It's like you'll incentivize people to buy the platform, right? Because like if there's like a really cool game that people really want that's only on PS5, I've got to buy a PS5 now.
Yeah. This is 101 business. Like it's like a new graphics card being able to do ray tracing instead of them patching it to everything else and looking crap. You're going to put it on one thing where it looks decent. So I feel like this is the way to go. This is how every like console maker should do it.
Yeah.
Why Xbox and Microsoft are trying to get people to like slowly transition because it's like consumer friendly, right? Like, hey, we don't have to buy it right away. So like just easing people in is not a bad thing either. It's just an interesting approach. Like it's cool that they're both taking different angles at this new.
I kind of feel like it's bad because it kills
innovation. To put it in Sony's words. Yeah.
Well, it basically kills the kills the motivation, I guess we could say, of seeing the need to go ahead and upgrade right now, because it's like if everything's going to be coming on the Xbox One, then why get the Series X unless if you want the more better enhanced version of said games, which some people
will want.
Some people, and that is good to go ahead and know that no one's going to get left behind for this current time frame, if you will. So, and, with that sense alone, Microsoft is essentially playing for the long game. They're not going to be, banking on the fact of, trying to get sales within the holiday season for the Series X. It's all going to be more and guided towards, getting people onto the Game Pass, essentially. But, again, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. All right. So, it's like, okay, Sony, you do you, I guess. Like, people people obviously buy the console.
Just do us a favor and make sure that your systems don't get scalped to death, please. Like what's happening with the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Please.
Is it still happening right now?
I think it's calmed down.
Yes.
It's had to have calmed down, right?
It's calming down a bit, but for the most part, if you're on Nintendo Switch, you're still kind of vested well there.
Just because of the pandemic, though.
Yeah.
Well, the pandemic and people trying to take advantage of said pandemic to meet the demand by selling the Switch for like $500, $600.
Right. Brutal.
Yeah.
That's actually illegal for them to do that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least for the approach that Sony's taking to try to limit it one per household, that could work, but that's kind of underestimating how far scalpers will go ahead to get as many systems as possible to go ahead and resell. So we'll see what happens, but unfortunately, scalpers are the living embodiment of if there's a will, there's a way, because there's money involved. And you can never have enough money.
They'll figure out how to use a VPN or whatever to get more than one console. It's probably not that hard.
Oh, VPNs, oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, as Andrew said, it's not going long. All right. So anyway, moving right along this quick little story, we were talking about Ghost of Tsushima earlier. The game's really hot, apparently. Right? Game's hot. It's what's new. It's what's hip and everything. Right? Well, coming to us from Eurogamer, Ghost of Tsushima is Sony's fastest-selling new PlayStation 4 IP, beating Horizons and Days Gone and Dreams too, for what it's worth. Yeah, Samurai Adventure Ghost of Tsushima has become Sony's fastest-selling original IP this console generation. More than 2.4 million copies of the game have been sold over its first 3 days worldwide, the official PlayStation account announced via Twitter. It is PlayStation 4's fastest-selling first-party original IP debut, which I know seems like a lot of like qualifiers to add to it and everything, but just saying it's just like, of all the new IPs that we've launched this generation, this one has like sold the fastest. That's all it's saying.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you know, God of War isn't counted, The Last of Us isn't counted, Final Fantasy isn't counted, Uncharted isn't counted. Its primary competitor was like Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone. So, and it beat it. So, anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good game.
People will buy good games. People will buy good games.
I don't know if you guys are just playing it in Japanese voice language, but it is throwing me off a little bit. The mouse they're the English version, so you have like these people speaking in Japanese and their mouse are like, it's weird.
So wait, I'm sorry. Are the lips synced to Japanese or English?
No, English.
Oh, okay. So you should play it in English then.
I mean, I prefer the Japanese language. I'm not even a weird.
Yeah.
I
mean, it made sense, right? I played Sekiro in Japanese.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Well, no, and here's the other thing to consider too, because the Final Fantasy VII remake, they went ahead to actually lip sync both English and Japanese, if I recall that one correctly. And it feels like that if Ghost of Tsushima was to be lip synced to anyone, it should have been Japanese, honestly, because that's kind of how it should have been. And then if you have it to English, it's like, okay, well, it's just like watching the Japanese films that get English dubs. That the lips don't match, but it still captures the feeling of watching a old Japanese film. So
I think that the like Sucker Punch knew their audience was probably mostly Western.
Yeah,
well,
which is weird because the game is just doing insanely well in Japan.
It is.
Yeah, no, it's breaking records in Japan too for the sales numbers.
Yeah.
I think the difference is that they're a US studio. They're not.
I think that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Final Fantasy's Japanese, like they're owned by Square Enix, obviously.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but
Sekiro was done by a Japanese division, I believe, from Software. From Software is Japanese. So it's like a change in things a little bit. So.
All the animators and stuff are all native English speakers. For them to try to lip sync Japanese would probably be incredibly hard.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I just looked it up right now on here. I'll post the link on our little group chat here. But essentially, that from what I've been seeing here, though, that Ghost of Tsushima has been doing really well in Japan. That apparently it was also supposedly the third game by Gamatsu that went ahead to get a perfect 40 of 40. Okay. So, yeah, no, people in Japan have been loving Ghost of Tsushima, and it does seem like that, it has done its homework, essentially.
Yeah. Breaking news, Japanese people like games about Japan. Yeah.
Well, I mean, properly, if anything else. I mean, I can't imagine why, because,
I was just being facetious on that one. Yeah.
I mean, I can't recall how many games made by Japanese companies are based about America, but then again, people love what was it, Metal Wolf Chaos? What's it called?
That game's insane.
The most American game ever made by Japanese people. Just like Guile's theme, the most American theme of the United States made by Japanese people.
All right. Anyway, so we're going to do a quick advert break, and we'll be the Microsoft segment / the water cooler conversation. So stick right here. We'll be back in 30 seconds or so.
This week's episode of the Power Up Podcast is brought to you by OptiNutra. OptiNutra offers nootropic-type supplements that help support enhanced sleep, vision, flexibility, energy, long-range health, and so much more. You can check out their full range of supplements using the link in this episode's description.
All right, and we are back. We once again thank Performance Lab for their continued support of the site and, of course, the show in general. Well, as promised, this is this week's water cooler conversation, and the reason why we excluded the Xbox event that happened this past week from the news conversation and everything, right? Because we're just going to do all Microsoft all the time around the water cooler. We are sipping that green Kool-Aid, okay? So
I'm just glad I'm here to actually enjoy it for once.
Yeah. All right, where do we even start with this?
Halo.
We're at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, Halo Infinite. That's what's it's been generating quite a lot of buzz in the metaphorical office, right? Unfortunately, for all the wrong reasons. I'm gonna come out right out and say it. I'm actually pretty disappointed with what it looks like. I don't just mean graphically. I just mean in general. I'm fairly disappointed with what they're kind of gonna take it to and whatnot. So
It's just like old school Halo to me, though. To be honest.
I understand trying to respect like the combat evolved art style or stylistic stuff and everything, right? But
I'm sorry, it is nothing like Combat Evolved. I was playing that yesterday. Okay, Combat Evolved has a certain shape called circles. Not everything's a square, Microsoft. Like, I'm sorry. Everything in Infinite looks like a square. Like, every single thing. Even blinking, what are they called? Banshees, or whatever they are.
The Phantoms, too. Yeah,
right.
the Phantoms, yeah.
Oh, Phantoms, yeah.
Kind of referring to like how they was moving around, and there was no ADSing on guns. It was kind of just like, that old school, like Doom-ish, almost like Doom style, where it's like the melee is clearly a big part of the game still.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they just add a few little like things like the grappling hook, like the open-ish world kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I mentioned it a couple podcasts ago, like I haven't played Halo since Halo 3.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So like
to be fair, you haven't really missed much either.
Yeah. Well,
the worst thing you missed was Reach. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Halo 3 looks better than Halo 1. I mean, Halo Infinite.
I think in a lot of ways,
it honestly does. It honestly does. Like, we compared images and stuff. Like, Taylor and I were talking about this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a fun conversation on the Discord about this.
So I hate the way it looks. I absolutely hate it. I hate the graphics. It looks really disgusting. It literally, it looks like
I know. Just it's okay.
The colors
literally,
are nice.
It looks like 2000. Whenever Quake 1 came out, that's what it looks like.
1998.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the grapple hook. I don't like the sprint. I don't like any of it. If you're going to give us Halo, give us Halo. Do not give us Doom Eternal. Like, I don't want Doom Eternal. I want Halo. And I understand ADS.
Doom Eternal.
And whatever. I don't understand. I understand ADS isn't the thing. It wasn't Halo 5. It's all well and good. I would have preferred ADS than a freaking grapple, to be honest.
Yeah, grapple could be cool. I mean, like, especially if it's an open world, you kind of need some kind of mechanic to get around that's just not running or sprinting. So, I mean, you could open up some cool combat segments of, like, getting on top of something. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pull some positive out of this.
I don't know. If I
negative.
If I do, like, a little bit of a somewhat metered response here.
It's not Halo.
Oh, well, yeah, it kind of boils down to it. Can I just say that I think it's really funny how dejected all of the brutes look from the screenshots? They're just like, I don't want to be here, It's like, why am I here? I don't want to be here. Why am I doing this sort of thing? They'll just look really dejected and, like, lifeless, and I think it's kind of funny. Anyway, I think, so it's like, going a little bit more technical into it, the geometry seems kind of basic for a lot of things. Which we can attribute to many things. We kind of alluded to it when we were talking about the PS5 transition earlier and everything. If Halo Infinite is going to be on the Xbox One also, then like
it looks like Minecraft.
Yeah, maybe a big issue is like it's like they had to like tone down things to run on the Xbox One also.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with the colors. Like, I don't mind the vibrant colors and everything. That's fine.
I like it.
Yeah, that's fine for me. But I think the big thing that's really off-putting about all the screenshots that he's saying is, like, there's something weird, very weird going on with the lighting and shadows and everything. Like, things that should be illuminated aren't casting light on things. There's no object okay, so when I say object, this refers to, like, things like crates in the world, stuff like that, like kind of opposable objects, or character shadows. So there's no object or character shadows from what we can see in any of the screenshots, which is kind of
space somewhere, shadows don't exist.
They were all on land. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the ring
and
obviously has different lighting, right?
Yeah, and there's like this really weird,
with.
like flat white light source, like just cast over. You notice it a lot on Master Chief from like the first person screenshots that you see, but it's like you kind of see it just kind of applied to whatever light is in your immediate area too. It's kind of odd. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm pulling from it.
Yeah. It's just it didn't look. Even the gameplay didn't look fantastic. It just kind of looked a little slow, and
it looked pretty mad.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't think they showed it off well. Unfortunately,
I think that the idea was to show off how it starts off. Apparently, the campaign. But the problem though is that if the campaign's going to start off that slow, then it's like, yeah, no, this isn't going to excite people. That you're literally just showing people how slow the start may be, and that's not good if you want people to be getting really excited about Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, and I posted up a screenshot in our little chat here, and it's one that has like the Covenant all like pointing towards somewhere, and it's like, yeah, you can see like how just bland it. Well, not to say completely bland, but it's like how lackluster it honestly does look, honestly, and it's like.
I thought it looks better in motion, to be honest. Like,
it looks better in motion, but then you get the brute with the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the brute really reminds me of Harambe for some reason.
I've seen Shrek.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah.
I thought of Shrek, and I'm glad that someone posted up Shrek ears on the brute.
Okay.
That made me happy.
Wait, those aren't real, or those aren't real?
No.
Oh, I thought that was real.
No.
Okay.
People
good to know.
God forbid if they did have those ears.
All right.
I was like, as I said earlier, like if you compare side-by-side screenshots of Infinite to 3 is a lot more vibrant. It's a lot nicer looking. There's shadows, there's like mist and like light coming through trees and stuff.
Yeah, the big thing with like if you see in those like comparison images between like 3 and Infinite, it's like the big difference that I notice is like the contrast in the lighting between places and everything. So
it's not out yet, so things could change slightly.
Well, we are responding to a trailer here. And I hate it.
Usually most companies like pretty up their games the most as possible for the trailers and then downgrade it. Is Microsoft doing the opposite same thing here, where it's like they gave us the lowest spec possible and we're like, oh, look how pretty it actually looks.
And it was running on PC.
Well, considering the thing of the wow, this doesn't look good. I hope it looks better on the Xbox Series X rumor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly the thing. Yeah, no, that's the rumor about it running on PC, and it's like,
well, it's confirmed.
Okay, well, yeah, no, it is confirmed now, but it's like, yeah, you should not be showcasing something that's low, and that's quote unquote low quality if you're trying to sell this to people. And that's the thing that I found the funniest of all. Of how throughout the whole responses, it's like a lot of people were saying, "Wow, to think that Halo Infinite would be seen as the low key announcement of this whole thing." It's like, and you would think that in most cases it should be like the thing that everyone should be talking about right now.
The most we saw from Fable was a fraud eating a fairy, and I'm more excited for Fable than Infinite right now because Fable's coming back.
Yeah, so
if that game ever comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get to that too in a moment.
Peter Molyneux isn't going to be in charge of that, is he?
I hope not.
Okay.
With all respect.
Okay, anyway.
Also, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive Halo fan. Like, I love every single... Even 4, I quite enjoyed Halo. Halo 4, it looked quite nice. 5 is, like, the only one that I don't like, which is the common consensus.
Yeah.
For me, this isn't my cup of tea. I don't like the model they're using either, like the ever-evolving Halo experience. It sounds like they're going to release the game unfinished and then patch it. It sounds like Anthem. I don't like how that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it at all. Like, if you're giving us Halo, like, give us Halo. Just give us a finished game. Like, Halo games are amazing. They're a very unique experience. It's something that no other game kind of gives you. And, like, I really want that OG feeling Halo game, but this doesn't seem to be doing it. I like the open world approach. I'm just going to say that. I like how you can choose where you're going and what you do. But the whole like games as a service kind of model isn't for me. I don't like that they're going to do DLC and like base follow-up games of Halo Infinite. It seems like that's what they're doing. From a couple of videos that I've watched, it seems what they're doing. Like they'll incorporate the game in the one like Halo Infinite. Like rather than having to buy a separate game, it'll be on Infinite, you'll basically get an update, and that'll be the new game.
Well, let's just hope that when it does launch, it will be in a complete form, because if they're really going to try to do a day one patch for Halo Infinite, no one is going to be giving them any quarter on that, honestly, and they should not get any quarter.
Day one patches are standard, I think.
Well, day one patches are day one patches, but, you know, that would be saying that, oh, Fallout 76 is going to be better after the day one patch, when, you know, remind me again how that played out?
Yeah.
But, you know, and that's the thing here. If there's a day one patch for Halo Infinite, that's fine. But the thing here, though, is that we don't want to see, you know, things get better after the day two patch or whatever. That day one patch is, you know, showtime. You have to be ready at this time. Don't be like cats and patch your movie after it's released.
I just found out my dog is like a total mutt. Okay, anyway, sorry. So I did like this DNA test result, or like DNA, like 23andMe for my dog, and I just got the results in, and she's a freaking mutt. Okay, anyway.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Hey,
sorry.
are adorable.
I got briefly distracted. Anyway, still talking about Halo?
Yeah, Halo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how Halo plays out. That right
Halo
now,
Mega Bloks Edition? Okay.
Yeah,
God.
let's just hope that when they do show off the multiplayer, that it does look so much better than the
Hopefully,
campaign. Otherwise, you know, not many people are going to be too thrilled about Halo Infinite once we get to the release date of it.
Yeah. Okay. So, kind of shifting from Halo into like Xbox and Microsoft in general, right? Heading into the next generation. I'm gonna be real. Microsoft's kind of losing right now already, right? I don't know. The PS5 event, in my opinion, was much better than the Xbox event.
Yeah, I think the PS5 event was definitely like a little more hype. Like it got you a little bit more excited.
Okay.
About, you know, games as a whole and like what's coming out soon. Whereas I don't think this was a bad presentation. I just don't think it didn't hit the high marks of like the PS5 event.
We've discussed this on the show multiple times. I think it's Microsoft's marketing strategy, as Taylor said quite a few times. They don't know how to market, plain and simple.
I think the big thing is like messaging around a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good show, but the problem though is that what they need to be doing right now is hitting it out of the ballpark. They should not be hitting just to go ahead and get onto a base, essentially.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally the best way we could put it, honestly.
I mean, like, the most excited I got in this show is when they showed Tetris Effect multiplayer. Like,
wasn't that unironically your game of the year? Or
yeah, I love that game so much.
No, it's fine. I was just wondering. Like, it's like, I remember you really like,
So, like, that, like, is the level of, like, I was at. Like, of like, oh, they showed an old game, but with a new update? Like, dude, yes. Okay, now I'm on board.
Yeah, no, and that was how the Microsoft show worked in general. That it was that, you know, Halo Infinite didn't do anything for anyone. But then it's like once they got into the announcements of other games that are going to be console launch exclusives or coming up later, that got a lot of excitement out of random people. Whether if you want to say that Stalker 2 is finally coming back, or if you want to go ahead and mention for Fable, or you know, PSO2 getting an expansion, but not really. It's almost like a new game, whatever. That it's like
delayed again.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2. That essentially the point here is that, you know, there was, you know, something for everyone. Which because of that, you know, there's a reason why that there's a positive reception, not a great reception, but a positive reception.
Yeah, no. I
agree. And the other thing to also keep in mind here too is that everything that was shown during the Microsoft presentation, all of that, Game Pass.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, that's really good to kind of bring this conversation into it, right? It's just like Microsoft, I think, is literally transitioning to like a games as a service sort of thing, right? You know, kind of like almost literally, as Mike just said, you know, the Netflix of gaming almost. You know, it's just like you pretty much just need a somehow a Microsoft branded box, whether that box takes the form of a Windows 10 PC or an Xbox, and you can tap into this at Netflix of gaming or whatever, right?
And some people have tried, and they're doing it just the best out of anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I think it's like because like Microsoft, I don't think are interested in making money with Xbox anymore. I think it's kind of like a fun little like PR hobby that they keep up and everything, right? You know, kind of do it, support the medium or whatever they might do. So, I mean,
and honestly, and you know, and the Game Pass has been, you know, basically a great thing for everyone. you know, people get to enjoy so many games for $15 a month, and then you would think that the developers participating are losing money, but no, they're actually getting so much more money. The guys who did Descenders, the Viking game,
Ooh, that's a good game.
they saw their sales just suddenly skyrocket when they were on the Game Pass. So it's like, you know, it's free publicity, if you will, and then, you know, if people love it, they will buy it. And it's like, you know, it's something for everyone, and, you know, literally as consumer friendly as you could possibly get in this industry.
Yeah, it's definitely, everyone should have Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass, you're like, I don't have an Xbox.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't have an Xbox, but I still have a PC, and I pay $5 a month, and I have so many games I have access to. Do I play them all? No, but
no.
Yeah, and that's the approach that Microsoft's taking. That, you know, just like how Nintendo's doing their own thing, that Microsoft is essentially going to be doing their own thing through Game Pass now. And that was kind of why that I wrote the article about the console wars are over, because it's like, you know, Sony's literally doing their thing, Microsoft's doing their thing, Nintendo's doing their thing. They're not necessarily competing with each other, even though they still kind of are, of course. But it's like, you know, essentially now there's something for everyone now. And it's like, if you want to do one thing, go for it. It's not like that you're going to get forced to do another thing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's great too, like, you know, I know Anthony loves Halo. Like, well, he has Game Pass. He doesn't have to take the huge risk on buying Halo and him not liking it.
Right.
Try
exactly.
it. Don't like it, then he ain't gonna launch it anymore. You know, it's
Mhm.
kind of the beauty of that that whole system.
Yeah, we'll see how it works
I think
out, of
also
course,
like it
we'll
does
see.
give a lot of freedom to developers to like try some new stuff with games and everything, because it's like you're not reliant on people spending like $40 or $60 for a game they worked on. If you put it on Game Pass, people can sample it, and it's like, oh yeah, we really like this game. Maybe we can make more of that sort of game, then, you know, new stuff comes out too. You know?
Microsoft is basically your safety nets, essentially,
yeah.
to do whatever, honestly.
It's the reason why we can get like the glow-in-the-dark deer game that they showed off last year, remember?
I don't remember that.
Okay, I completely forget the name. I just remember like the deers were glowing in the dark and they were knocking over vending machines, and
Oh, I kind of recall. That sounds great though.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Right. All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then Microsoft has cut the production for the Xbox One X and Xbox One SAD edition.
Digital.
Sad.
Sad.
Yeah, which is the Xbox One S all digital edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did you guys think there was going to be a price or date at all on this one? Did they confirm, like, say they weren't going to do that?
What do you mean?
Like, did they say beforehand, like, there will be no price or date, or like, were you expecting to get one?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
no, we
because
kind
I
of figured there was not going to be an announcement. We're
What do you
still
mean-
literally
yeah.
playing chicken right now with console price announcements. And
Yeah,
release
it's like
dates.
one company
Well-
is just gonna PIR the other one.
Yeah, and they said that they weren't going to do anything tech related, like console tech related. So, but with, like, I haven't really said anything about this.
Well, they're going to
yet.
have to pick up the pace here pretty quick. We're almost in
Yeah.
August, and we still don't know whenever anything's coming out yet. That's for
Right.
either. So
With regard to like Microsoft's thing, I feel like Sony definitely did a better job with their like state of play or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I just think like Microsoft's doing their own thing. Power to them. Game Pass is good.
Mhm.
If you own a PC, buy Game Pass. You can't really go wrong in that department. I think they're killing it there, and with like xCloud as well. They're definitely
Microsoft gets their
shifting
money either way.
focus. They're definitely shifting focus in the industry. However, when it comes to like gaming as we know it, Sony's definitely there, in my opinion. Like Microsoft can't compete, and they're not trying to.
Consistently putting good stuff out.
Yeah.
Whole
Sony.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sony.
Sony has.
It's like the minute
Sony, yeah.
Bloodborne 2 gets announced, I'm buying a PS5.
Mm.
No, I'm serious.
so-
Yeah.
I feel like Microsoft isn't doing like Microsoft said they're not doing exclusives for 2 years after Series X
To
comes
ease the
out.
transition. Yeah, so it's like,
So-
to me, it's like, you know, they're kind of gimping Series X stuff by doing that.
They're basically like
they're not doing exclusives. They're doing
No.
exclusive at launch, obviously.
They're not doing anything
No,
exclusive
no,
to
they're
the
not.
Series X.
no
Oh,
exclusives
I
for
see.
2
I see.
years.
Yeah.
I see now. So, Xbox One and the Series X.
X.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the Xbox
Yeah.
One will still be relevant for at least 2 years after
Got it.
the Series X comes out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So,
buy your kid the Series X holiday 2022, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. But
Hopefully you can
did you
go
want to
outside.
I don't think
Oh,
this is a particularly strong showing for Microsoft at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good showing, but not a great showing. That's kind of the best way we could put it. They did what they need to do, but of course, they still need to do so much more, including, of course, the gameplay. Because, that kind of went SOL again outside of Halo.
Yeah. Okay. So, just really quick, if you were to grade Microsoft on their event, what would you give it? Mike, let's start with you.
I will be the most generous and say B-.
Okay. Andrew?
That's about where I was at, honestly.
Okay.
Probably say C.
Okay. I'm going to give it a solid D. Actually, no, I'm going to give it an F because there was no Elden Ring.
Oh,
this again.
Elden Ring is Sony, though. Come on.
Don't you
But they showed it off at the Xbox One
Obsidian
conference.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that Elder Scrolls
software
looking game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well,
anyway.
Pillars of Eternity apparently, so it's not necessarily a new IP, but close enough.
All right.
Yeah, they do. It's a different IP. The thing I was working on, whatever they're called.
Obsidian or something like that, or
Yeah.
Talking about the Obsidian one.
Obsidian, yeah.
Awoken. What is it called?
Avowed.
Avowed. Thank you.
Avowed thing, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, that does look interesting, but we'll see how that plays out. But it's Obsidian; they're the new Bethesda. They're the good guys. So we'll see how that plays out.
Kind of just took that seat over, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did we want to cover the last thing really fast? Like what you were going to mention previously, Anthony, about the broken promises, right before we
have time, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, just so that I could just get it out of the way, depending on when those come out, I want to say that no promises have been broken yet.
Okay.
Because, if we were to find out that, Forza Motorsports comes out at launch 2020 exclusively for Series X, then it's like, okay, yeah, they broke a promise there. But it's like, if that doesn't come out until, 2 years from now, 2022, then it's like, well, they didn't really break a promise if that's technically when the exclusives were to come out.
That's fair. That's fair.
We'll see what happens there, of course. Yeah. But, that's kind of how I'm looking at that right now.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So I think with that, in summary, Microsoft needed to hit it out of the park, but they just hit a single or so. Generous single.
A single or double.
Maybe a double if the outfielder was a little bit lazy that day. So, anyway, baseball's back, right? You guys see that? What was it? The
Angels played today.
Well, the NBA is apparently coming back, so...
Yeah, I'm so excited for the NBA season to start. I feel
so weird about the whole bubble thing, though. I'm kind of not a fan.
I don't know. I love basketball, though, so...
Nice. Yeah, no, I love basketball, but, I was, they put, a barber... It reminded me, it was... oh, it looks like it's my NBA town or whatever from NBA 2K.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny. It's a pretty good meme.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how things play out for that too, but another story for another time.
Culture of sports. Anyway, Anthony, what games are releasing this next week?
So we have on July 28th we have Grounded, which is going to Steam Early Access. Obviously, so Steam Early Access / Game Preview, which is PC and Xbox One. Destroy All Humans is going to be PC, PS4, Xbox One on July 28th. Skater XL is going to be PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July 28th as well. Maid of Skur is going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One, also on July 28th. Other Side, CIDE that is going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on July 28th. Blightbound is going to Steam Early Access. There we are. On July 29th. Fairy Tail is going to PC, PS4, and Switch on July 30th. Yakuza Kiwami, I think that's it, 2, is going to Xbox One on July 30th as well. Hellpoint is going to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July 30th. Monster Crown is going to Steam Early Access, which is obviously PC on July 31st, sorry. And that is it for this week.
Awesome. Mike, where can the good people find you on Twitter? Or bad people? Because, I don't know, it's easy to deal with trolls on Twitter. Just hit that block button.
Yeah, any traffic is good traffic, as they say, right?
Sure.
Maybe. But if for whatever reason, if you do wish to go ahead and follow me, I am at MAS8705 on Twitter. I just turned 33, and I am going to be kicking and screaming trying to get that personal blog going for myself. But until I do, I'm still with Culture of Gaming, and hopefully I'll be talking about the Xbox Game Pass, or Summer Game Fest here pretty quick, so that should be a fun one.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm
Andrew.
getting everything mixed
Oh,
up with
sorry.
games on Xbox nowadays.
Games
Sorry.
Pass, @Cloud, @Spots, @Finity,
Series X.
Wi-Fi.
Name all of the Xbox consoles. They will drive you mad.
XS.
Sad. Anyway. Anyway. Andrew, where can people find you on Twitter?
You guys find me Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, at Duranski, DURINSKI. Come over there, say what's up. I'll gladly have some conversations.
Awesome. Anthony?
Tweet at all.
Okay.
I manage all the sites, social media, so if you want to
talk to
contact
him,
me,
hit up the official channel.
Correct. Anywhere and everywhere.
Okay, you can find me at Infurious7809 on Twitter. That is at INFERIUS7809. Anime and tech. I don't really talk about video games a whole lot, in all honesty, on Twitter. So, anyway, I know, kind of weird, right? So anyway, so that'll wrap up the show for this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope to see you guys next week. Promise to be on time next week. Okay, so anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. Same time, same place. And you know what? We didn't talk about Dr. Disrespect this week.
No,
There was nothing new.
Still bad.
Yeah.
A different story for a different time because, yeah.
All right.
Nothing's
No
happening.
disrespect, of course. No disrespect.
No disrespect to the disrespect. All right, anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what he would.
Anyway, same time, same place, same channel. Next week, be safe, be healthy, enjoy some games. See you all next time.
Bye-bye.